give it up for Jason Cunningham.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you, buddy. I'm going to talk about us as thought leaders and our 10-year game and our relationship with money. But before I begin, what makes us a thought leader? I'll tell you what, we're a little bit different than most, aren't we? Hey? It's okay to be different, but we're a little bit different. We've got some ideas, we've got some thoughts, we speak with conviction. We create a book, we've got a presence, and we deliver to our clients. But we are a little bit different. What's the 10-year game? Financial freedom, financial independence, yeah? But along the journey, we've got this 90-day game, this immersion program, we've got that 12-month game, the 1,000-day game, and then the 10-year game. The 10-year game is to maintain black belt for 10 years so that we can reach financial freedom. So what's financial freedom? Well, Cookie's put together this little graph, which I think is pretty cool. And he reckons that at financial freedom, that's 5 mil. 5 mil in assets. So let me tell you a story about losing weight and why it's really related to making money. You know, we've all got a vice. I don't mind the odd beer or two, glass of wine and a bit of bad food. My bride, for her, it's chocolate. And whenever we've had a reasonable weekend, we've overindulged or whatever, her name's Anne, she'll wake up on a Monday morning, she'll say, Jay, I'm on the air and lettuce diet. Air and lettuce, that's all I'm having. And so she'll do nothing, she might have a protein shake, a bit of water, some air, lettuce, that's it. And we'll have our dinner at night and we'll have our protein and our vegetables. One of the little tests that I have with my good lady bride is after she's made a magnificent meal, I go, honey, I'll get the tea. So I make a cup of tea and I come with 2 rows of chocolate, like this. She goes, Jay, not touching it. Air and lettuce and some protein. Cool. Tuesday night, same process, cup of tea, 2 rows, not touching it. Wednesday, starts to get a bit weak at the knees, right? Thursday, bang, I've got her, she's eating chocolate, the whole block's gone, right? What is the point of that story? A, you're a little bit psycho? Yes. But 2, if the chocolate's not there, she can't eat it. Do you agree with me? Right? The same is with money. See, typically, for most of us, the more we earn, the more we spend. Is that true? The more money we earn, the more we spend. Our taste gets more expensive. I think my old mate Cookie says, Jason, you've got to rock star your income, not your lifestyle. But for most of us, as we start to earn more money, our shoes get a bit nicer, the handbag gets a bit nicer, our cars get nicer, our suits get nicer, and we need to buy more and more and more. Because the more we earn, the more we spend. And the only way to get away from that is to take money off yourself. And again, why I'm so akin with this whole business school with the thought leaders is Cookie says, Jay, the key to reaching financial freedom is to get to black belt and then put 10 to 15 grand away every month for 10 years and you're done. Take money off yourself. If you haven't got it, you can't spend it. Because if it's there, we spend it. So the question is, where are we going to put the money? So I've got 4 options here. You can put it in cash, you can put it in property, you can put it in shares, and you can invest in business. And I'm always going to say to you, you should have a mixture of all 4. Right? Everyone knows what cash is. I don't think I need to educate the room about what cash is, but it's good to have some money in cash in the event of a rainy day or in the event that you want to make a quick decision. So we won't talk about that. Let's talk about property. Property and shares, I'm going to share with you right now. It's really important to understand. It's the same. It has very, very, very similar underlying fundamental. When we invest in an asset, we want that asset to grow in value and we want that asset to provide us with a return. With property, we call that a rental return, right? But too often, I've got here pitfalls, too often we look for the wrong thing. And too often there are people that run seminars or get up on stage and talk to you about the wrong thing. They talk to you about, you're paying too much tax, David. Too much tax. I got a way that you can pay no tax. Now, whenever you go to a barbecue and you listen to a bloke who says, oh mate, I've got the best account and I'm not paying any tax, I'm going to tell you that guy's not making any money. Paying tax is not a bad thing. Having a property that's positively geared is a good thing. It means positive geared means more in than out. That's good, right? Because our objective one day when we are financially free, we can choose whether or not we go to work and we've got assets that are generating us income without us having to work. Don't get sucked into looking at the wrong thing. What we want is we want something that's going to grow in value and provide us with a good yield. Don't get too caught up in negative gearing. Negative gearing is wonderful, it helps us along the journey, but don't get too caught up in stamp duty free and all this sort of stuff because we're buying off the plan. Because when you buy off the plan, they build the tower and then guess what? They build the next tower next to it. So let's just be very careful there. The second, this is shares. So there's more than one share, right? You like that? Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Folks at the back, the Finks just got it. They're hammered. I want an honest answer. I've got a really honest answer about losing weight. Who here is scared of the share market? Honestly. Yeah, I am. Yeah. Let me talk about shares. On the 17th of April 2000, one day before my birthday, I lost $84,000 when the market opened. All the money pretty much that I made, I'd lost on the market. And in the guts. And the first thing I thought was, I'm never investing in the share market again. Sometimes we make a mistake and we go, I'm never doing that again. But maybe we should never do that again the way we did it. Maybe we should do it a little bit differently. And see, a lot of people that I speak to say to me, Jason, I don't like the share market because it's too up and down. It's a roller coaster. And often we read wonderful newspapers like the Herald Sun that tell us nothing but the truth. And whenever the market falls, they go, $4.2 billion wiped off your super fund. But whenever the market goes up, we don't really hear about it because it doesn't sell newspapers. And most people, a lot of people that have been burnt in the share market say, Jace, investing in shares is too risky for me. I don't want to invest in shares. It's too risky. I want to put it in the bank. So I've got a graph, and as an accountant, we like graphs. I want to show you this graph. They took $1 million and they put it in a bank account, and they compared that 1 million, and then they took that other $1 million, they broke it up into parcels of 10, 100,000 each, and they invested it in 10 standard stocks that they have. And the stocks are BHP, Coca-Cola, Rio, Wesfarmers, CSL, CBA, ANZ, Woolworths, Orica, a few others. And they compared the return in dividend versus the return in interest. So we're just looking at the income piece. You see that line there, the white dots and the black line, that represents the cash return from interest. But you can see that the dividends returning get greater and greater and greater and greater. Till the end, over the 16-year period here, in 2015, the return on the dividends was 300,000 versus the return on cash of 30,000. This is not talking about what the share price did. This is just talking about the return being the profit paid in the form of dividends to the shareholders. Isn't that interesting? So then they said, okay, well, what was the value of those stocks then? 9 mil. Something interesting for us that are scared about the stock market to think about. When you buy stocks called DavNet, VoiceNet, Making No Money Net, Garbage Net, we're ripping you off net, this is a highway robbery net, that's not an ideal investment. But for a long-term investment, when you invest in companies that make profit and return profit to their shareholders, I'd argue that's a pretty good investment. Now, I'm not here to say sell everything and invest in shares. Don't you dare do that. But what I'm saying is it's very important to have a diverse portfolio of your investments. Have some in property and have some in shares. Typically, when the property market's up, the share market's down. When the share market's up, the property market's down. You don't want to have all your eggs in the one basket. Often what holds most of us back is the unknown because we don't know what's on the other side. We found out we had twins and that was a bit of a shock to the system. We went off to the sonographer. And the sonographer, her first words were, oh dear. See that little one on the left there? He's not going to make it. So we go and see this bloke, Dr. Mark Umstad. He's the head of the multiple births clinic in Victoria, or potentially Australia. 21 weeks, 22 weeks, where we need to make a decision. And we're like, what do you mean make it? You know, it's not a decision you want to make. So we went in at 14 weeks, and he's coming good, the little one on the left. Then went at 15 weeks, no good. 16 weeks, yes. 17 weeks, no good. Anyway, we got to that point, 20 weeks, 21 weeks, and like, fire truck, and we didn't make a decision. And fortunately for us, our boys were born at 29 weeks, you beauty. The little one on the left, his name is Lewis, and he was born at 1 kilo even. And the one on the right, we call him the fat bastard. His name's Jack, he was born at 1.25 kilos. When you're 25% bigger than the next bloke, just say Craig Cherry and I, it's a fair big difference, right? That's for giving me shit earlier, right? But you know what? I know what fear of the unknown is, right? And when it comes to your kid's life, man, that's frightening shit. Business, man, that's nothing. Investing, that's nothing. But I see too many people do awesome in their business or in their practice. Do awesome and got nothing. Because they focus too much on their practice and not on their personal wealth, on their business, on their family wealth. Why not spend a little bit of time on your family's wealth?
Round of applause.
Hey!